Well, the Salton Sea certainly has a long and troubled history in our valley. Several projects have tried to restore the sea to its former glory, but many of them have stalled. I sat down with News Channel 3's Angela Chen to get a closer look at her in-depth series premiering tomorrow. So Angela, you and I are both from Southern California. I'm from Orange County, you're from the Pasadena area. And the Salton Sea, which is obviously a major body of water in Southern California, is so little well known. I mean, a lot of people don't know anything about it.
Zero idea. Often, you know, when the plane flies over the Salton Sea, Californians will say, well, what's that? It's remarkable how few people have really heard about this place, which is why I think it's pretty cool we are highlighting this now. That's the problem. People don't really know about the Salton Sea. They might know a couple things. You know, the stigma is that it's dirty and it's smelly, right? Sometimes you get the odor advisories, but that's why we're doing this series. It is a very in-depth look into the history, into the environmental and health concerns, into what's been done about it in the past, what hasn't been done about it, why we're stuck in this rut, and why so much money has been devoted to this, and why you can't really say you've seen any results.
It's in 1985 that the health department comes out to the Salton Sea and conducts a study, and they determine that the fish are unsafe to eat. They put up no fishing signs in '85. The tourist industry, the kind of heyday of old Hollywood, is gone.
And then of course we end on a positive note, what's being done about it now? Because there is action happening at the Salton Sea after decades and decades of inaction.
It's amazing to think how long this has been going on and how controversial it is as well, and how expensive it is to fix the Salton Sea. This series, it's called Troubled Waters.
Yes.
You're going to be looking at different aspects of the Salton Sea and sort of, like you said, the history of it and also the future of the Salton Sea, because a lot of people want to know what's going to be done.
They do. They've been wanting to know for decades, is what we're finding in our research. And it's a tough question to answer, because what has been done? There have been projects that have been started, stalled, and 5 years later, like the 2015 Red Hill Bay project, started but never completed, just sitting there as it was the day it kind of started. It looks the same. So we're going to look into all these projects and why they've stalled, and why it's so important for everyone to care, because yeah, we live close, but how many people can say they really know about the Salton Sea?
Yeah.
You know, people can tell you a couple things, but not much more. And this story will really also look at why everyone should care. This is everyone's problem, not just the people who live around the Salton Sea, which, by the way, are very impoverished communities, right? And often when you are living in poverty, your voice is smaller, you're not really heard as much. And the story will also serve as that, to be a voice for those people. But this is everyone's problem in the sense that the exposed playa, the Salton Sea is shrinking. As you're aware, it's shrinking, and the dust that kicks up, that exposed playa, there's a lot of toxic chemicals in the Salton Sea because it's an agricultural runoff dumping ground, right? Everything flows into the Salton Sea. Some of it's regulated, a lot of it's not. There's raw sewage. So when you have something like that concentrating in the Salton Sea, it's going to be a problem when that dust later then kicks up and it's blown toward the Coachella Valley, further to San Bernardino and LA counties.
And like you mentioned, this isn't just a Coachella Valley issue. This is all of Southern
problem.
California. This affects millions of people. Obviously, News Channel 3, we have done several stories in the past, multiple stories on the Salton Sea, but this is very different. Tell us about sort of the production into this, because I know I've seen you've been working on this for weeks.
For months. We started last year. This was all possible because of a grant from USC, Annenberg Center for Health Journalism, and from Society of Environmental Journalists, which have been incredible in giving us this grant monies to go and really put in the time to do a good job on this story. There is so much to know that you can't tell in a typical story, which you know, news stories are about a minute 30, 2 minutes. You can't tell that in that sort of time. You really have to, you know, allow for the breathing space to talk to dozens and dozens of both, you know, people who live around the area and officials who have to be held accountable for the inaction and to answer for why there's been nothing done. And hopefully you tune in and you can find out what's been going on. We've been working on this for a while, multiple treks to the Salton Sea. If you've never driven the entire circumference of the Salton Sea, maybe try it out one day.
It's huge.
It's an experience, and it is breathtakingly beautiful.
So the series is called Troubled Waters.
Troubled Waters.
It will be airing on News Channel 3 every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, 6 p.m. throughout the month of May. There's 4 parts. Hopefully you tune in, and we'd love to get your thoughts on this as well.
I'm really looking forward to seeing this and learning more about the Salton Sea. Like you said, it is a bit of a mystery.
And one day we're going to drive out there, Peter. I'd like to give you a tour of everything we've seen.
Wait.
You know, it's wondrous, it's exciting, it's a mystery. It is also in crisis. There's so many different parts of it, and I really hope, you know, if you're out there, take a drive, check it out for yourself. There's so much to know about it. And it is a looming ecological crisis as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
Really need
There's
to pay
that part of
attention
it
to
too. All right, Angela, it was so good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Fantastic. I know we're like crossing ships
She's in the mornings, I'm at night, so it's nice when we can actually
Love
connect.
when I get to see you.
Again, be sure to catch our month-long series on the Salton Sea every Wednesday at 6 p.m. starting tomorrow on both News Channel 3 and CBS Local 2.